Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name's StepsBasic and welcome back to my community show. Sorry for the echo, I obviously haven't finished my office yet, but you know, that's neither here nor there. So today, I had decided that I wanted to talk about Unravel. Oh man, this was show you just how powerful some video games can be, I tell you. You know, I've been playing games since I was a wee lad, you know, I played from the Atari to the NES, Super Nintendo up to the Sony PlayStation, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, played some Sega but I never actually owned one, plus GameCube, N64, all the fun stuff in between there. But in all my time I have never played a game quite as powerful as Unravel was to me. And I think that the reason why it was so powerful was because it established the story of these people, but played out only through pictures, only through memories. And that got me thinking, you know, too much, because I have really good memory. And every good thing, every bad thing in my life I can remember pretty vividly. And you know, you start thinking about all that stuff, you know, the good times, the bad times, times of struggle, times of victory, times of defeat. And it especially hit me really hard in, you know, this episode.
The doggo's watching his back.
I started to think about my grandfather, you know. He died a couple years back. It was a few days right after Father's Day, and I hadn't called him for Father's Day. I did every single year. Every single year up until that year. Wasn't exactly always punctual about it, but every year I'd call him to say Happy Father's Day. And then that year, I missed it. I was gonna call him. I kept telling myself, all right, I'll just call him tomorrow because it's a little late now. And when tomorrow came around and I didn't call him, and then came up to be about, I think it was a week later. Not exactly sure entirely the timeline too much because things were kind of hectic back then. It came around and I got a call, you know, telling me that he'd passed away, and I was like, I just hadn't called him, you know. And that was rough, you know, especially seeing the old man in the bed there. It just hit me. It's like right in the throat. Just how quickly things can go from good to bad. And that's the thing about Unravel, though, is it doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't really tell you anything. It just shows you the pictures and you fill in the story. And that's something I kind of like, you know. I'm a big advocate for the whole show don't tell thing, you know, in books and movies and such. Whereas if somebody comes out and says he's scared, rather than saying something along the lines of, you know, his heart was gripped in panic as he stared. You know, not saying he was scared, but obviously you can infer that he was through what they imply. But you know, games like Unravel, with the interpretable story, as it were, really get to show you what type of person you are, because the story that you form around it. Now, obviously, there is a story there, and you can see it, but there's more to it than what they show you. And you know, if you interpret the story based off of what your own life has been like, then it can become really personal. And that's the same thing that happened with me in that story, man. I mean, go back to the love story, the rock, or the lock on the fence.
Oh, is this like one of those memory things? You seal your love together. That's so pretty.
And look back on my life, and the love's won and the love's lost, as it were. And You can see parallels. You can start to see stories forming. Your own memories are talking to you. Throughout my life, I've had a good number of loves, as it were. Though, truth be told, only one that really surpassed them all was the love for my daughter. And you know, even between us, we have stories that nobody else could share. They're our memories, and they're very powerful memories. You know, all the way back to the first memory I have, holding her in my hand, dead tired, been up for a day straight now, and exhausted, and I look down at her and I say, "You're my little Lizabug," earning her nickname for the rest of her life as my bug. And you know, it's perfect. It works out. It's great. But you know, that's the thing I loved about this game. It's memories. Everybody's got memories. Now, I'm not going to lie and tell you that my entire life has been spectacular and wonderful, because we all know that's a lie. Nobody's life is like that. But our good memories are made all the better by the bad ones. The times that we suffer, the times that we lose, the times that we try that little bit and fail. They're all making all the good memories. The times we win, the times we triumph, the times we're happy, make them all the better. And you know, now, I'm going to go a little personal on you. When I was a kid, I didn't have the best of life. I wasn't happy 90% of the time. And so even the smallest little bit of happiness was just enough to keep me moving. You know, spending time with friends. And I remember one time it was great. We went to a park and we were just playing around. A friend of mine chucked a shoe at me. He wasn't trying to hit me with it. They were trying to play keep away from the girl who'd lost her shoe. So they threw it at me and I was supposed to catch it, but I wasn't paying attention. Got it right in the face. Hilarious. It was great. Loved it. But back to the games, man. Now, most of the time, I mean, especially back when I was a kid, games weren't anything really special. You know, pixelated characters walking around on the screen, often just 2D platformers with pixelation. And like I always talk about it, my first game I ever played was the frickin' Burger Time game on the Atari, where you walk back and forth across the parts of the sandwich and drop it down to the next level. No depth to that game. Make sandwiches. And you know, it was fun first time, but you know, you move through history of gaming, as it were, and you get such powerful titles like Final Fantasy VII, you know, where you suddenly suffer the loss of a character who you've grown to care about. And now, with this Unravel game, you move into it not really expecting anything. You know, it's a platformer, it's an indie game. It was supported by EA, but I think it still qualifies as an indie game because it was worked on by a small team. And you go into it expecting nothing. You're playing a little yarn character, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you got your emotions flaring up, you got your memories flowing through your head, and you're moved by it. And like I said earlier in one of the videos, that this game might not mean as much to somebody who doesn't have so many memories as me. I mean, I joke about being old. I'm only 32. Well, yeah, 32. Close enough. And I joke about being old, but honestly, it's more just what I've seen in my life. I forget who said it, but it was like, the man who goes through life with both eyes open lives twice as long as the one who keeps his eyes downcast. And that was a completely butchered version of it, but let's say that's a paraphrase, so I don't have to worry about who actually said it. Maybe I'll look it up and put it in the editing there. But yeah, I move through life with both eyes open. And as such, I've kind of suffered for it, because I see things that I shouldn't want to see. I see things and I do things and I am things. And Unravel helped me to see things, to remember things. I mean, I don't usually need help remembering things, especially the bad things. I'm pretty sure most of us can relate to. Our memories love to show us the bad things. But the good things as well. I remember playing through, the first few levels, they're easy. They're, the fun times. Going through the camping, at the lake, everything. Then you move into the dark memories when you're at the construction site, or the quarry, I think it was. And you move into there and you're like, this game just took a sudden dark turn. And like I was saying, memories are like that. If you look back on them, like as a kid, it was dark mostly. I grew up and I left. I joined the military as soon as I could. And it didn't get much better very fast. I met my wife, and there was a nice ray of light in my darkness. And it was fun, It was happy. We were married. We got married, I should say, when we were married. My daughter was born. So many rays of happiness in such a short time. And then back into the darkness as I go out to sea on deployments and looking at examples of real world strife, real world troubles down in Haiti after the earthquake back in 2009. Seeing all these people who'd been injured come aboard the ship and helping them, making sure they don't die. And this little boy lost half his leg, was the bravest person there. All these adults coming in with cuts, scrapes, bruises, scratches, not gonna lie, some gashes and some other lost appendages. But this little boy had lost his leg, and he was sitting there just as stoic as anyone. Brave. While the adults were screaming and crying in pain around him, he was just sitting there. Then we go and we carry on my life, and now at this point it's kind of boring. The good part is hanging out with my bug and helping her and growing her and raising her. Not growing her because she's not a plant, but raising her up to be a good person, to love, to honor and to cherish, to be happy, and doing a darn good job of it too, because I don't see her very unhappy very often. And usually it's just when she's annoyed at my jokes, which is how it's supposed to be. And, compared to what my life was before, the things that I'm doing right now are just kind of boring. I love making my videos. Don't take that to mean that I don't want to do my videos anymore or anything. And I love writing. Submitted my manuscript to a publisher and got rejected. But that's just one more step. It's 5th rejection now from a publisher. 7th rejection in total if you count agents. If you want to be even more specific, 10 failures. Because I've tried to self-publish a few times. And now, I make some videos to entertain you folks, and that makes me happy. I can't really go out and entertain. I can't sing. Well, I can. Just not very well. And, I'm funny. Depending on who you ask. But, moving into the next stages of my life, it's kind of a transition period. Leaving all the darkness behind me and moving forward. I'm leaving the quarry, as it were, going into the snow. But I will always and forever recommend this game. But yeah, I will always recommend this game, Unravel. It's an EA game made by an indie development team, Coldwood. Spectacular game. I recommend it highly, and if you ever get the chance to, pick it up and play it. Anyway, video games are powerful, memories are powerful, and if the game is good, it will bring these memories up. And yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if this video seemed a bit low energy. I was kind of trying to keep myself from getting emotional about it. Because, yay. Anyway, if you like this video, go and poke that like button for me. If you'd like to, you can leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, when I can, if I can, you know, all that jazz. If you feel like you want to comment about memories, that's fine. That's fine. I wouldn't mind like to read some of my favorite memories. Some dark memories. I'm good with those too. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in next time for my next community show. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we'll find out then. And until then, thanks.